You know, when that guy you ghosted in 2021 suddenly shows up on your Instagram feed looking like he's rich and mysterious and now everyone wants him? That's basically what's happening with crypto today. Crypto, which, let's be honest, has been kind of like the messy, unreliable situationship of the finance world, is now walking into Wall Street in a three-piece suit saying, "Hey girl, I'm a serious investment now." So today we're breaking down the major moment where Coinbase, aka the biggest crypto exchange in the US, is joining the S&P 500. Yes, crypto is now in the same club as Apple, Amazon, and like Lululemon. And if you've no clue what the S&P 500 is, if you've no clue what crypto or even Coinbase is, don't stress. I'll explain everything. Like, we're at brunch and I'm your friend who reads Bloomberg, so you don't have to. Okay, girls, we're back. Let's do our market mood. This is where we check in on how Wall Street's feeling today. Basically, are we in our baddie era or are we spiraling? So first up, the S&P 500, which is basically the most popular group chat on Wall Street. It was up 0.7% today. And plot twist, this means the index finally broke even for all of 2025. Okay, quick explainer. When people say the market is up, they're usually talking about the S&P 500, which is a collection of the 500 biggest, most powerful US companies. Think of it like the Forbes 500 of stocks. This little rally was powered by tech stocks because investors are super excited about the US lowering some tariffs on China. Tariffs, by the way, are just taxes the US puts on imported goods. The Dow, she is not having a good day. The Dow is down 0.6%, and honestly, she's being dragged down by UnitedHealth, which crashed after some major CEO drama. We'll get into that later. The NASDAQ is fully in her influencer era. She's up 1.6% because it's loaded with tech stocks. Like all the girls, Nvidia, Apple, Google, they were thriving. And Nvidia, she hit a $3 trillion market cap, which basically means if Nvidia were a country, she'd have the GDP of France. That's wild. Bitcoin is up 1.8%. Crypto girls are back from the dead. And honestly, Coinbase carried the whole mood today, which brings us to our main character moment. Crypto is in its glow up era. Tech girls are eating. Healthcare is crying in the bathroom. Okay. Coinbase is joining the S&P 500. Let me explain this because I know it sounds like financial gibberish. So the S&P 500 is the most important stock market index. It's like the Ivy League of stocks. Companies in the S&P 500 are seen as legit, stable, and powerful. It's where all the grown-up investors park their money when they want to feel smart and responsible. So the fact that Coinbase, a crypto exchange that lets people buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum, is getting added to the S&P 500, that's literally the finance version of getting verified on Instagram and invited to the Met Gala at the same time. Why does this matter? This is a moment for the entire crypto industry. It means crypto isn't just some side hustle or sketchy Reddit thread anymore. It's officially part of the financial system. Honestly, it makes crypto feel less, ew, my ex-boyfriend won't stop talking about Dogecoin, and more like, okay, maybe this deserves a spot in my investment portfolio. When big indexes like the S&P 500 add a stock, it means all the major funds that track that index will now have to buy Coinbase shares, which is why the stock shot up almost 24% today. So basically, crypto just got its finance girl era. All right, next up is our branding company stories, where we gossip about the biggest companies making moves today. First, UnitedHealth, messy CEO energy. So UnitedHealth, which is one of the biggest health insurance companies in the US, is in full chaos. Their CEO, Andrew Whitty, announced he's stepping down for personal reasons. But let's not forget, his era was filled with literal drama. Cyber attacks, federal investigations, and the tragic murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The stock fell 18%. Even billion-dollar companies can be a hot mess, and healthcare stocks are in their messy breakup phase. Second story, HBO Max is back. Remember when HBO tried to be cool and rebrand as just Max? Well, they're backtracking. Warner Bros. Realized, oh, we're actually iconic for a reason, and they're bringing the HBO name back. They say they'll focus less on random content and more on prestige shows, the kind that get Emmys and everyone tweets about. Third story, U.S. travel is kind of flopping. So the World Travel and Tourism Council says the U.S. is projected to lose $12.5 billion in travel revenue this year. That is a 7% dip, and we are the only country that the WTTC tracks that is seeing a tourism drop. Foreign travelers are like, I'm not really feeling the U.S. right now. Mostly because of the strong U.S. dollar making things expensive and trade policies making people nervous. So maybe expect seeing fewer cute European boys in Soho. Okay, now let's pause the gossip and have a little girl math moment where we break down the finance headline of the day in like girl-coded terms. So I know we throw around words like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, like we all totally get it, but do we? So what the heck is crypto? Because Coinbase is making headlines and we're not about to get caught in a convo where we nod along pretending we know what blockchain is. Crypto, or cryptocurrency, is basically internet money that isn't controlled by any country or government. Like, for instance, the US dollar, that's controlled by the government. But crypto is more like a community of people on the internet who agreed, yeah, this thing has value. Like, they just woke up and decided that one day. It lives on the blockchain, which is a fancy word for a giant public Google Doc that keeps track of every transaction. Like, no one can delete or fake anything in it. The most famous crypto is Bitcoin. And then there's Ethereum, which is like Bitcoin's cooler, more creative younger sister. And then there's a million other coins that, to be honest, some are legit, but some are kind of like Fire Festival. Why do people care about crypto? Because it lets you send, spend, and invest money without banks, without borders, and without waiting 3 to 5 business days. It's fast, it's global, it's the bad girl of finance who said, I don't need permission from anyone. Crypto is basically the rebel girl of money. It doesn't want your bank, it doesn't care about your credit score, and now it's crashing the Wall Street party by joining the S&P 500. So next time someone brings up crypto, you can say, oh, you mean the internet's unofficial currency? Yeah, I know her. And now our pop culture X money segment, because even Kim Kardashian is part of the finance girl narrative. Kim took the stand yesterday in Paris over her 2016 armed robbery case, where she was robbed of over $6 million in jewelry. The trial is still ongoing, but it's raising a lot of conversations about how celebs flex wealth online, how brands handle influencer scrutiny, and what kind of PR disasters can come from these incidents. Even billion-dollar brands can't prevent plot twists. It's the true crime X finance crossover event of the week. So today's mood, crypto officially is on the finance girly mood board. Tech is thriving, healthcare is crying, and the US is losing its tourist status. If you made it to the end of this episode, you deserve a CEO title and a spritz. Send this to your friend who still thinks crypto is for weird finance bros. Or drop Coinbase is in the S&P 500 now at dinner tonight and watch everyone be like, wait, when did you get so smart? I'll see you guys tomorrow.